Welcome back everybody, my name's Robert Doman, and in this video we're going to be talking about why do I make games? And also, why do you make games? Because why is the most important question. We've talked about game design documents in the past, and why you think certain things is how you get to the root of your game. Why does this character need to do something? Why does the player need to be interacting with it in a certain way? And it helps you get to the bottom of everything, and it helps you to crystallize your ideas and stop dreaming about something and get it down so that you can actually get it done. So why do I make games? Why do you make games? And well, first of all, we both enjoy games, right? We played them probably growing up. We had different devices and different games. Your favorite games coming straight into your mind? I remember MotorStorm. It was one of my first PS3 games I got. That was when I bought my PS3 when I was a kid, and that game still holds a lot of gravitas in my heart for racing games. But there are more general reasons. Why do we enjoy games? Social. We play games with other people. It's not just digital games; it's also board games. We've grown up playing these games, playground games where you're playing it and hide and seek and stuff. They're creative. It lets you explore. It's not like Minecraft lets you actually create, and other games are creative in the sense that they're giving you an idea that you hadn't had before. They're also challenging. There are many games like chess where the whole idea is that it's about winning and it's about getting better every time, learning, challenging yourself. They're also safe. Even if you're being challenged in chess, there's no risk to your own life. It's safe. It's a safe space. You can try new things. Like I've been playing this card game on my phone recently called Cards. It's this World War II one. I don't like playing mobile games, but this game has hooked me, and it's really good because it lets you build a deck and then try things. And if it fails, it fails. But that's the fun, challenging you and letting you feel as though you're in a safe space. To fail, it's okay to fail. They're also entertaining. It's like a movie, it's like a book. You're put into this world, you're given a character normally, and you get to experience things through their perspective. And it's fun. It's action a lot of the time, and there's a story. It's entertaining. And the main thing I think is why games are so good is because you get to explore what ifs. It's just like movies and TV shows and books, but the what if I feel like is better in a game because you, the player, especially with RPG games, get to poke around and see what makes this world tick, or to break it apart if you feel that that's who you are. So exploring the what-ifs is very important in why I enjoy games, and I'm sure you agree. So what do I enjoy personally? And this will obviously be different to you, but I enjoy experimenting. I enjoy trying things out, even if I know I'm going to fail, mainly because nobody's watching, right? I can experiment. I can make these artworks behind me. I can sketch self-portraits in my sketchbook. I can do whatever I want, and once you've done that, it doesn't matter if people see it or not, but experimenting, it's valuable to me. Creating, obviously, experimenting and creating are very similar, but I feel like creating is more about the process and about doing things over and over again, or bringing an idea to life. It's not just randomly throwing stuff at a wall. It's more about having an idea and bringing it to life. And to me, that's fun. That's rewarding. That's what I enjoy. I also enjoy sharing, just like I'm talking to you guys. I enjoy showing other people my stuff and talking to other people. But imagining, that's my last thing on this list here. Imagining, I love imagining. I love writing my ideas down. I love thinking of the what-ifs that I already talked about, of what makes games so good. So already, these themes that I enjoy and what makes games fun, or why I enjoy games, they're already aligning. However, the process of making something and the process of consuming something aren't the same. However, I feel as though my experimentative and creative aspects of myself make me enjoy making games too. But yeah, games are a medium, but they're also work, right? It's a process. And just like with everything, throughout your life, you will have played games from when you were younger to now, and you will have made things from when you were younger and to now, and you might be able to see the process that you or the route you took, the path that led you to where you are today, and along every road you took, there was practice, right? Somebody gave you an idea, for example, in school, in class, in art class, draw this. And so you drew it. And maybe you drew it a few times, right? That's practice. Experimenting, that's the second part. You thought of an idea in your head, or you messed around and see what could happen. That's experimenting. It's kind of like pushing beyond what you know. And then learning. Once you've pushed beyond that boundary, you think to yourself, hold on, that's an interesting idea. Or maybe, that didn't really work for me. And then you can circle back. You can then practice what you've learnt, and then experiment, push beyond that, and then learn from that again. And so, obviously, this will be different for you. And think about this for you. What was your route to get to where you are today? Watching this video, thinking about games, and making them. Because mine, I think, began with drawing. I think drawing is where everything began, with a pencil and paper. Drawing things. I remember in class 2, I don't know what grade that is for Americans, probably grade 2, I don't know. But that's in primary school. I remember doing a 3D drawing of a pickup truck. And it was very boxy, it was extremely boxy. And I remember showing my teacher and saying, look what I did. And I probably followed a tutorial of one of those drawing books. But it was like the idea that you start with a box and then you follow the lines and it creates or you start with a rectangle and it creates a box. Then you add pieces to that box to make the cab, and then you add wheels to make it a pickup truck, right? And she wasn't that impressed, but that didn't matter. I enjoyed it. And then from primary, I went to secondary, and I did art there. And I remember drawing. I remember doing my final piece was like a multimedia World War II. I think it was a modern war of like, there was a sniper in cardboard, and it was like physically put on top of a canvas, and on the canvas, I can't remember if it was painted. I think I had slightly painted it, and then I'd had cutouts of sandbags and stuff, and then in the distance there was tiny little cutouts of vehicles, and also I did a pencil drawing of old cars. I remember doing that, yeah. So I started with the drawing. I went into drawing with secondary school, but in college, I didn't like the idea of doing fine art. I'd already got a computer at this point, I think, and I was experimenting with digital art. And so I did graphics and photography. And obviously, graphics is very it's an art, but it's different. It's easier to experiment. And obviously, it's more game-like. I think I was already thinking about making games. The game Little Big Planet, I loved. That was technically the first game I'd actually bought, because MotorStorm came with the PlayStation, but I bought Little Big Planet because you get to make games. And so from graphics, I went into university and I did 3D modeling for games, and I was alongside alongside designers. And once I'd graduated, I was looking to do more graphics-based games again, because I did pixel art in college, and I feel like I've stumbled into being a designer. GB Studio has allowed me to experiment with all my skills, because I did do music as well. In primary school, I learned guitar. Secondary school, I did music as a GCSE. In college, I was in a little band with my friends, and in university, I brought my guitar, and I love listening to music, so I feel as though all of my interests have come together in games. I've been able to be an artist. I've been able to, push the boundary and experiment in all these different things along the way. And I feel like it's just the perfect medium to do everything just a little bit. You get to explore and experiment. Like if you were to write a book, why would there ever be a need to learn music, right? Or if you were to be a painter. If you were to be a painter, why would you ever need to use a computer and do maths? Because I loved maths. Games just allows you to do everything, and if you like doing everything, you can make a game that suits your skills. It's kind of beautiful. And so digital games now, they just require a computer. You don't need any space in this world, right? If you're an artist, you need a place to paint. You need an easel, which I feel like it takes up a lot of space. Having all the paints, that's expensive. Obviously, a computer's expensive, but I feel like the space to rent, like a studio space, is way more if you're going to take it seriously, right? So it's cheap, if depending on how much you pay for a laptop. It's fast. Making a game is extremely simple. With like GB Studio allows you to do it within. I've made a game in like 2 days before, I think. So obviously that's not as fast as a drawing, but just remember you're doing more than drawing in a game. It's easy because everything's built in. It's just drag and drop. Obviously, depending on your skill level, it could be harder. And it's shareable. We can share these games. You have played my games probably, maybe, hopefully. And yeah, it's amazing because let's get back to the start. Why do I make games? Because I have a computer and I've practiced it, right? I've experimented with it and I've learnt from it. And I'm at the point now where why would I stop? That's why I make games, because I've been making games. And you now know why I started making games is because I liked games and I followed it. Basically. And I'm going to keep going. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you thought about your own process. Why don't you tell me in the comments how you got to where you are today? And I'll see you in the next video. I'll put my patrons up on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.